Towing kills more GMC transmissions than anything else, and it's not the weight, it's the heat you can't see, quietly cooking yours toward a $4,000 rebuild. After 28 years, here's every mistake. I'm Dale. Here's the one fact that explains everything. 9 out of 10 automatic transmission failures are thermal heat. Not broken gears, not bad luck. And nothing makes heat like towing. I've rebuilt more transmissions cooked by towing than I can count, drained the burnt fluid, pulled out clutch packs, baked hard as a cookie. Every one was preventable. So here are the 7 towing mistakes that cook a GMC transmission and how to stop each one. Let's start with the most common. Number 1, never tow in overdrive. Without tow haul mode engaged. This is the most common towing mistake there is, and most owners don't even know the button matters. Here's what happens when you tow without it. Your transmission is trying to stay in its tallest, most efficient gear, overdrive, because that's what it does to save fuel when you're driving unloaded. But now there's a trailer back there, so the moment you hit a slight grade or need a little more power, the transmission downshifts. Then it upshifts. Then it downshifts again. It hunts between gears, unable to settle, because overdrive is too tall for the load and the gear below is too short. You've felt this if you've ever towed up a long grade. Without it, the truck grabs a gear, the RPM flares, then drops, then climbs again, never settling. The whole drivetrain busy and working the entire climb. Every one of those cycles is friction. And friction is heat poured straight into the fluid at the worst possible moment. Every one of those shifts works the transmission. And worse, the torque converter clutch, the TCC, locks and unlocks over and over as the truck hunts. That repeated locking and unlocking under load generates a tremendous amount of heat right where you least want it. The torque converter is already the hottest part of the transmission. It's where the heat is born, so cycling its clutch on and off under a heavy load works the one part that can least afford it. Tow haul mode fixes all of it. It changes the shift logic to hold lower gears longer, so the transmission stops hunting. It firms up the shifts so they're quick and clean instead of slipping. And it adds grade braking, which I'll come back to. The truck stops fighting itself and settles into the right gear for the load. What to do? Press the tow haul button every single time you hook up a trailer. Every time. It costs you nothing. It's right there on the shifter or the dash, and it's the single easiest way to keep heat out of your transmission. I've had owners swear they towed just fine in normal drive, never had a problem, and then I pull their fluid at 60,000 miles and it's already dark and tired. Years early. Because every single tow was a heat cycle the transmission never should have taken. The owners who skip that button are cooking their fluid on every trip and don't know it. Quick thing before mistake 2, every transmission rule that saves you a rebuild, the real fluid intervals, the towing limits, all of it lives in my 500,000-mile GMC blueprint. Links in the description if you want it. Alright, back to it. Number 2, never tow without knowing your transmission temperature. If heat is the enemy, then driving blind to that heat is like driving blind to your fuel gauge. You're guessing. And the guess is expensive. Let me give you the numbers that matter, because these are the numbers that decide whether your transmission lives or dies. A healthy transmission fluid temperature under normal conditions runs around 175 to 200 degrees. That's the safe zone. The fluid is happy there, and it lasts a long, long time. Here's the part almost nobody knows. For every 20 degrees you go above 200, you cut the life of that fluid in half. 220 degrees, the fluid lasts half as long. 240, half again. And right around 240 degrees, the additives in the fluid start to cook off, and you get varnish, a hard residue that gums up the precise passages and clutches inside. That's when real, permanent damage starts. The problem is most GMC owners have no idea what their transmission temperature is doing on a hot grade with a loaded trailer. They've never seen the number. I had a man come in convinced his transmission was defective. It started slipping at 90,000 miles, towing a fifth wheel. I asked if he'd ever watched his temperature on a climb. He'd never even found the screen. We pulled the data, and that truck had been hitting 250, 260 degrees on every summer grade for years. Nothing was defective. It cooked, one climb at a time, and he never saw the number that would have warned him. What to do? Get eyes on that temperature. Many GMC trucks can display transmission temp in the gauge cluster or driver display. Learn how to pull it up. If yours can't, a cheap OBD2 reader or a dedicated gauge shows you the real number. Then, watch it. If it climbs toward the danger zone, back off, slow down, drop a gear, ease the load on the transmission until it cools. You can't manage a number you can't see. Number 3, never ride the brakes down a long grade. This one cooks two systems at once, and it's the mistake that catches people in the mountains. Picture a long downhill with a heavy trailer pushing you from behind. The instinct is to hold the truck back with the brakes steady pressure on the pedal the whole way down. Two bad things happen. First, your brakes overheat, fade, and lose stopping power right when you need it most. That's a safety problem all its own. Second, and this is the transmission part, riding the brakes keeps the whole drivetrain working and loaded the entire descent, building heat instead of shedding it. The better way uses the engine, not the brakes, to control your speed. When you downshift to a lower gear and lift your foot off the accelerator, the engine itself holds the truck back, engine braking. And here's the part that helps your transmission. With your foot off the gas going downhill, the system actually runs cooler. Because the engine is doing the holding and the fluid isn't being worked the way it is under power or under constant braking. What to do going down a long grade with a load? Use engine braking. Manually select a lower gear or let tow haul's grade braking do it for you. That's the feature I mentioned earlier, and this is where it earns its keep. It automatically downshifts to hold your speed so you're not riding the brakes. Let the engine hold the truck. I've seen the aftermath of the people who didn't brakes, faded to nothing halfway down a pass, a white knuckle ride to the bottom, and a transmission that took a beating the whole way down. The engine is your brake on a long descent. The pedal is your backup. Get that order right, and you protect your brakes and your transmission in one move. Those three are cooking transmissions every summer. Before the next 4 are the ones that finish the job. Hit subscribe and turn on the bell. Every week, I tell you exactly what the dealer won't. Number 4, never exceed your real ratings. And I mean your real ones, not the big number on the brochure. Here's the trap. Owners look at towing capacity, that one impressive figure the marketing leads with, and they think that's the limit. It isn't the whole story. The number that actually matters is your GCWR, your gross combined weight rating. That's the maximum your truck and everything it's carrying and pulling can weigh. All together, the truck, the passengers, the gear in the bed, the trailer, and everything on the trailer. Combined, when you blow past that combined number, and it's easy to do once you load a trailer heavy and throw 4 people in a full bed into the truck, you're asking the transmission to move more weight than it was engineered to handle. And moving too much weight makes exactly one thing: heat. Heat the transmission can't shed fast enough, on top of all the stress on every internal part. I'm not going to throw a specific GCWR number at you because it varies by truck, engine, axle ratio, and configuration. Every truck is different, and a made-up number would do you more harm than good. What I'll tell you is the principle. And there's a second number hiding inside this one that sneaks up on people. And there's a second number hiding inside this one that sneaks up on people. Tongue weight. The downward weight the trailer puts on your hitch counts against your payload, right alongside your passengers and your cargo. A big travel trailer or a loaded fifth wheel can put 1,000 pounds or more straight down on the back of your truck before you've put a single person in the cab. Owners forget that entirely, load up the family on top of it, and they're over their real limit before they've left the driveway, working the transmission harder than it was ever meant to on every mile. What to do? Find your truck's real numbers. They're in your manual and on the door jamb sticker. Know your GCWR, weigh your loaded rig if you tow seriously, and leave yourself margin. Don't tow right up against the limit on a hot day on a long grade. And let me clear up the piece that trips up the most people, because the brochure does this on purpose. That headline towing number is calculated for a stripped, single cab truck with one small driver and nothing else in it. The second you add passengers, a loaded bed, a full tank, and the tongue weight of the trailer itself, your real available capacity drops sometimes by a lot. The number you can actually use is always less than the number in the ad. I've had rigs roll in that were technically under the towing capacity on paper and still thousands of pounds over their real combined limit once you put the whole loaded thing on a scale. Every one of them ran hot, everyone wore the transmission early, and every owner was shocked because the brochure number told him he was fine. The closer you run to the edge, the more heat you make, and the less room the transmission has to survive it. Number 5. Never tow on old, burnt, or wrong fluid. The fluid is the lifeblood of the transmission, and towing punishes weak fluid faster than anything. Here's why this matters so much under a load. We already established that towing makes heat, and heat breaks down fluid. So if you start a towing season with fluid that's already old and tired, the heat of towing accelerates its breakdown dramatically. Degraded fluid can't cool, can't lubricate, and can't transfer power the way fresh fluid does. The clutches start to slip. Slipping makes more heat. And now, you're in a spiral that ends at a rebuild. There are 2 ways owners get this wrong. The first is interval. GM has a severe duty service schedule, and towing puts you squarely in it. Under severe duty, you want the filter and the fluid in the pan serviced somewhere in the range of 30 to 50,000 miles, not the stretched out normal interval. And absolutely not the lifetime fluid myth. If you tow, you service more often. Period. The second way is the wrong fluid entirely. These transmissions are specific. The 10L80 GM's 10-speed in the newer trucks requires Dexron ULV, an ultra-low viscosity fluid made for it. It is not Dexron VS6. Put the wrong fluid in and you cause problems under load that the right fluid would have prevented. What to do if you tow? Service your fluid on the severe duty schedule and use the exact fluid your transmission calls for. Let me show you how fast the spiral goes, because owners don't believe it until they've lived it. Tired fluid runs a little hotter. Hotter fluid breaks down a little faster. The thinner, broken down fluid lets the clutches slip just slightly. Slipping clutches make heat a lot of it, which breaks the fluid down faster still. Each step feeds the next, and once it's running, it runs fast. A transmission that was merely neglected can go from shifting a little lazy to not moving at all in a single hard towing season. I've cut open transmissions where the fluid poured out the color of strong coffee with the clutch material floating in it like grounds. Every one of those started as a fluid that was simply overdue and then got asked to tow. Fresh, correct fluid is cheap insurance against the most expensive repair on your truck. Number 6, never shut it down right after a hard pull, and never tow hard on a cold transmission. This is the mistake that finishes off a transmission that survived the other 5 because it's the one almost nobody thinks about. Start with the hard pull. You've just climbed a long grade with a heavy trailer, the transmission's been working hard, and you pull into the rest stop and shut the engine off. Here's the problem: the moment the engine stops, the fluid stops circulating. But all that heat is still in there. With nothing moving the fluid to carry the heat away, it soaks the temperature, actually keeps climbing for a bit. Concentrated in the hottest parts, cooking the fluid right where it's already most stressed. That's heat soak, and it does real damage. What to do after a hard pull? Let the engine idle for a few minutes before you shut it down. Idling keeps the fluid circulating and lets it carry that heat away and cool off gradually. A couple minutes of idle saves the fluid from soaking. Now the opposite extreme, because both ends hurt. Don't tow hard on a stone-cold transmission either. When the fluid's cold, it's thick, and it isn't flowing through the system the way it needs to. Slamming a cold transmission with a heavy load before it's warmed up causes its own kind of wear. What to do? Let the truck warm up and the fluid come up to temperature with some gentle driving before you ask it to pull hard. The classic place this gets people is the boat ramp and the campsite. You back the trailer up a steep ramp or pull hard into a spot, The transmission's working its absolute hardest at low speed, where there's the least airflow and the least cooling, and then you immediately shut it off and walk away. All that concentrated heat just sits there and bakes. 2 minutes of idle before you kill the engine would have carried it away. And the cold side catches the early riser who hooks up at dawn and gets straight on the highway under a full load before anything's up to temperature. Cold, thick fluid doesn't reach everywhere it needs to fast enough, and the parts run starved for those first miles. Not ice cold, not heat soaked. The transmission lives in the middle, and both extremes shorten its life. Number 7, never tow heavy without extra cooling. This is the one that attacks the enemy directly, and if you tow often, it's not optional. Everything in this video has come back to heat. The factory transmission cooler on a lot of GMC trucks is just barely adequate for the job, fine for unloaded driving, marginal when you're pulling a heavy trailer up a grade on a hot day. Barely adequate means there's no safety margin, and no margin is exactly how transmissions end up cooked. An auxiliary transmission cooler solves it. It's an additional cooler that gives the fluid more capacity to shed heat. A good one can drop your transmission temperature by 20 to 30 degrees under load. Go back to the numbers from mistake 2. Every 20 degrees over 200 cuts your fluid life in half. So dropping your temperature 20 or 30 degrees doesn't just help a little. It can be the difference between fluid that lasts and fluid that cooks, between a transmission that sees 500,000 miles and one that needs a rebuild at 150. What to do if you tow regularly or tow heavy? Install an auxiliary cooler. It's one of the highest value things you can add to a working truck. It won't add power. It won't do anything you'll feel on a Sunday drive. There are 2 common types, and both beat doing nothing. A tube and fin cooler is the simple, cheap one. A stacked plate cooler is more efficient, and it's what I'd put on a truck that tows seriously. Either one mounts up front ahead of the radiator and gives the fluid a second place to dump its heat before it goes back to work. It's a few $100s in an afternoon or a small bill at an independent shop. Think about that trade for a second. A few $100s one time against a $4,000 rebuild and a truck that's down for a week. I have never once had a customer who tows regularly tell me he regretted adding a cooler. I've had plenty wish they'd done it sooner, standing next to a transmission that was already cooked. What it does is attack the exact cause of 9 out of 10 transmission failures, heat, and add years to the most expensive component on your truck. Look back at all 7, and you'll see there's really only one enemy: heat, tow haul, your temperature gauge, engine braking, your weight ratings, your fluid, the idle down, the cooler. Every single one of these is about managing heat. Make less of it, see it coming, or carry it away. That's the whole secret to towing for 500,000 miles without a rebuild. It was never about babying the truck or towing light. GMC trucks are built to pull. They just have to pull smart. Manage the heat, and that transmission will outlast almost everything else on the truck. Ignore the heat, and it'll cook one tow at a time until the day it slips, and that day always costs thousands. Think about what that actually means for you. You don't have to baby your truck, you don't have to leave the boat at home, and you don't have to crawl down the highway afraid of your own transmission. You just have to respect the one thing that's actually doing the killing. Manage the heat, and none of the rest can touch you. Smart towing isn't slow towing. It's just towing with the heat under control. Remember the one thing, it's the heat you can't see. And now you know all 7 ways it cooks a transmission and how to stop every one. And if you want every transmission rule in one place, the real fluid intervals, the towing limits, how to stop a $4,000 rebuild before it starts, that's my 500,000 mile GMC blueprint. One PDF, no mechanic, no lift, links in the description. Hit subscribe. Next week, I'm naming the towing upgrade that's worth more than horsepower. See you then.